Michael Jackson's fourth album, Bad. You love it, I love it. But have you ever wondered what makes this album so bad? Well, let's take a look. Firstly, context. This album was intended to beat Thriller in sales. We all know the 1983 album is one of the best-selling albums of all time, which is pretty badass that this album even attempted to surpass Thriller in sales. Now, taking a more in-depth look at Bad, let's begin by discussing how MJ changed his persona to being more edgy. This, of course, goes against Michael's good guy image, which he was best known for, presenting himself as what I'd like to consider to be an anti-hero. 1 minute expressing his thoughts on the injustice in the world with Man in the Mirror, and the next boasting about how bad he is. This more edgy persona was most likely chosen due to it being the late 80s. That more ambiguous, upbeat image that many made use of in the early 80s just had to go. However, we did see elements of this more aggressive side to Jackson, most notably with Beat It, featuring the insane guitar solo by Eddie Van Halen, whom we sadly lost only recently. And then there's the vocals, which are particularly belligerent, helping to further convey the meaning of the lyrics, as it's about Michael Jackson's disdain for violence. And then there's also the fact that Beat It falls under the hard rock genre. Nonetheless, it wasn't until the 1987 album that this badass persona came into full force. If you need evidence, just look no further than the album cover. The coloring is bold, with the black text that contrasts heavily with the white background. The bold coloring can be seen as reflecting how they wanted Bad to sell incredibly well. MJ's costume presents him as both threatening and edgy, as he sports his iconic leather jacket, which remains synonymous with this album's identity. As for the font for the Bad title, it's written in a graffiti style, which you will most likely associate with vandalism, and therefore crime, as though Michael has written it there, reinforcing his bad facade. Something many fail to mention is the artwork for the singles featured on Bad. They often present Jackson as mysterious, having him appear as a silhouette if we look at Smooth Criminal's singles cover. Or how about the cover for I Just Can't Stop Loving You, as Michael Jackson stands with his arms folded. His body language looks standoffish. Okay, you saw it coming. We need to discuss the title track. This song alone proves the point I'm trying to make in this video, yet allow me to explain to those of you who may be, for some reason, unsure. In terms of MJ's vocal performance, it's aggressive, and this is heard with a number of songs on this album. He means business, and that's only further addressed through the instrumentation, with its iconic bass riff and harsh sounds, conveying a sense of violence. Later in the song, the organ solo helps to offset the more confrontational sound of Bad, although it also makes sure to add a sense of suspense to the number. Meanwhile, the lyrics mainly consist of Michael bragging about how tough he is, whilst also making use of words that evoke feelings of danger, such as shoot, kill, etc. Listen, I could make a whole video solely discussing the music video, but let's briefly break it down. Jackson stars as Daryl, a character who has to prove that he is still bad, and that's when he becomes a full-on badass. It sets the scene for this album, and I love it. Once the track kicks in, his facial expressions and performance convey anger, as we see him pulling some fast and aggressive moves. The occasional low-angle shot is made use of to present Michael Jackson as powerful and a force to be reckoned with, as his dancers dance in synchronization with him. If we look at the setting, this takes place in downtown Brooklyn train station. And I don't know about you, but a train station couldn't have been a better place to film this video. I mean, what a great opening. However, let's now discuss one of this album's hard rock tracks, Dirty Diana. The musical genre alone enforces that cool, edgy theme. There's even elements of heavy metal here. The verses elicit a sense of tension as the song's instrumentation builds up, along with MJ's vocal delivery becoming more and more, I suppose, violent, until we enter the choruses, and Michael can be heard singing emotively about the groupie Dirty Diana. As for Smooth Criminal, this number just can't be ignored. The title alone conveys danger, particularly with the word criminal. The instrumentals are suspenseful. You're left on the edge of your seat. In addition, there is this great sense of urgency. The lyrics tell the story of a skillful gangster, but Jackson isn't the gangster. He writes from the perspective of an observer, soon coming across the victim, Annie, and asking her repeatedly if she is okay. In terms of the music video, Michael Jackson's fedora covers his eyes. This portrays him as a mysterious character, an enigma, and the way he crushes that snooker ball is the definition of bad. In conclusion, a multitude of factors resulted in 1987's Bad album being so bad. This ranges from MJ's threatening persona, the title track, or even Dirty Diana, with its use of both hard rock and elements of heavy metal. This was a topic I only found necessary to discuss. It's bold, impressive, has a strong sense of identity, and contains some of Michael Jackson's edgiest songs.